Well, let's do some college basketball. Rob G, there was a earth-shattering, earth-moving signing by BYU of all places for one of the best basketball players in the land. Can you tell us about that?
That's right. AJ Dybantsa.
Gesundheit.
A kid so good that he was the number one prospect for 2026, reclassified in 2025, and he was number one again. All right, so he announced earlier today on ESPN's First Take.
Where is he from, Rob G? Do you know?
He's played in California for a year. Then last year he transferred to a prep school in Utah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So he announced today on First Take that he was going to bypass powerhouses like North Carolina and Kansas and sign with BYU. Now, during the interview, he suggested that the reason why he chose the Cougars over these other Blue Bloods is because the infrastructure they've created at BYU is geared specifically to get him to the NBA. He's made no qualms about it. He's not there to get an education. He's not there to, be a stand-up citizen. He's there to get to the pros. And he said, hey, their head coach.
Boulder Dash.
Their head coach coached in the NBA. Their assistant coach is coaching in the NBA. Their strength and conditioning coach has the NBA ties. So that's what he is saying. And then in the hours since the announcement was made public, it has been reported by multiple outlets that another reason why he chose BYU.
Here we go, Rob G. Here's the
that his NIL deal is worth approximately $7 million. To put into context, Cooper Flagg, the big star at Duke, his valuation is only $2.9 million.
All right, there it is. It's a money grab. I'm not mad at the kid. Go to BYU. Go do whatever you want to do. Am I going to be mad at how old is he, 18, 19 years old? 19 years old? Am I going to be mad at a 19-year-old going to make $7 million before he even turns pro or gets in the NBA? I'm not. This is just about money. I'm not mad at him. And you know what, Kelvin? I blame college basketball. I blame the NCAA. We talk about it all the time on this show. They had a chance to control this, Kelvin. Mm-hmm. All they had to do was pay the players. They should have set up the pay structure, and they should have assumed the responsibility of paying them. They get nothing but TV money out the wazoo. There's money to share with the players. They are greedy people. Greedy B words, if you want. They didn't want to share with the players. So they said, okay, once the Supreme Court and the courts of struck down their idea that they couldn't ban the kids anymore, right? Then all of a sudden they were like, let somebody else pay it. We don't care. All right, we're not going to deal with it. And now this is what you have. I can't blame the kids, not one iota, not one scintilla, nothing.
Yeah, I'm with. Look, this is why, to me, at this point, Rob, he's a professional. He's making $7 million a year. He's making more money than a lot of guys who get drafted in the NBA later in the round.
Except for Bronny. Bronny's making more.
Yeah, Bronny's making more. Bronny's making more. Way to get Bronny into this. Yes. But my point is, what's the point of one and done at this point? If a kid is worth this money, clearly he's going to be a top pick. Cooper Flagg being another example of this. Just let them go to the league, and if the league chooses to pick them, great. The league chooses to have them and play with them. Great. If they don't, they don't. But what's one? But what are we doing with one? And he just said, I ain't going to school for school. We already know that. But you got kids now. They're not even gone. Are the days? Remember they used to have the little press conference with the 3 hats. What school I'm gonna go to? I'm gonna go to this one. Now they doing it on First Take.
You know what it should be?
At this point, what we doing?
It should be First Take, but it should be 3-card money. Where one of the cards you turn over
right. Got something underneath
$7 million on it.
Yeah, 7. Let me see. I'm going there. Yeah, to me, it's just getting ridiculous. Now they are pros, and by they I mean these types of athletes. Obviously, you got a kid going to Butler. He's not. He's just probably gonna get a job afterwards, or maybe go play overseas, but. These types, Cooper Flagg, this kid AJ, these are pros in waiting. And to me, we're holding them up. They're making millions anyway. It's becoming a farce to the idea of even going to college. He said, I ain't going to learn. I ain't going for education. I'm going there to get ready for NBA. Just let them go to the pros. And if they choose to draft them, they choose to draft them. But I think it's a waste of time.
Your point is well taken, but the only problem is the players are the one who sold those kids out with that 1 year.
Yeah, I know.
It was the players with the CBA, and they did it to the kids. And I always said NBA players, that's one where they really swung and missed on the kids in doing that. Nobody else does that. You could go play
baseball,
golf, right?
tennis,
14,
soccer.
15 years old, any other. Why in the world you could go serve the military in this country, but you can't play in the NBA?
It's not making any sense.
It don't make any sense.
It literally doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't logically tell me this.
No, but that was the NBA in cahoots with college basketball to make them go. You know what I mean? Like, force them because they instead of going straight. And I'm with you. If a kid's ready, draft him. If a kid's not ready, don't draft him. You don't have to draft them.
Exactly. Nobody's forcing you to have to draft anybody. You can say, hey.
They're afraid that if they don't draft them and the kid blossoms. So they take kids who aren't ready.
Yep. And also they're scared the opposite. Like, what if we take him and then he's a flop and they're going to say, oh, you taking these high schoolers, you're taking these teenagers. That's on you. You guys are a dumb organization. Man, that happens no matter what. If you take an 18-year-old or a 23-year-old, there's no guarantee. You can take a quarterback first round, take a quarterback sixth round. You don't know what you're going to get. That's just a part of the nature of this. You just want to minimize how many times you miss. But the idea that we're making these kids wait, literally, Rob, 6 months? Hey, go wait 6 months somewhere. It's not even a year. He's going to graduate high school in June? And then, you know what I mean? You go through the 6 months. Maybe you make March Madness, make the tournament. Maybe you don't. And then you're done in March. And you're like, campus schmampus, I'm out of here. So it's like, what are we even doing making these kids waste their time? It's wasting all of our time. To me, if they want to go to the pros, let them go.
Yeah, but I'm not mad at the kids. I mean, what?
No, go get paid.
I'm going to go anywhere. BYU, is that really where you're going? You want to go? That tells you about what that tells you about the money situation. And I get it. Just because your coach was in the NBA and the trainer or all these other people they're naming, that's not going to get you to the NBA.
Listen to this.
It's all about your talent. That's what's going to get you to the NBA. But if you give me the option of going to North Carolina or some of these other blue bloods for 2.9 or $2 million, and BYU's put together a $7 million package, I'm going to BYU.
Yeah, I was looking up some BYU folks. I'm like, man, he's talking about this great program and blah blah blah. And I'm like,
oh God, what great program?
Yeah, right. First of all, let me tell you where you will not be seeing Kelvin. I'm not going to Utah. Okay, and Brother Dub is not going to Utah. So if somebody offered me $5.5 million, I'm gonna have to go get that somewhere else, man. Hopefully, I can make it up in some endorsements.
Oh, you're crazy! I'm going to Utah.
I mean, that is one of. I mean, Come 1.5. Okay, I went too far with the extra $1.5 million. That was a little too far. Let me scale that back. But that's going to be Utah is a unique place for brothers.
If they offered you $4 million to go play college basketball, you're not going to Utah? Seriously.
And somebody else offered me something?
No, they offered you less.
Oh, then yeah. Well, I mean, how much less?
$2 million less. You got a blue blood for $2 million or Utah for $4 million. He got $7 million. That's a layup.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ain't no way you're going to tell me that you would pass up $7 million.
No, I ain't passing up.
All right, but
nobody
double.
would even remotely.
Let's make it fair, like double.
Okay.
So it's double the money. You could go to your all-time favorite school that you wanted growing up. You wanted to play at Duke or North Carolina, and that's on the table for you. You could do that, but just for $2 million. Or you could go to a school that doesn't really have a history of a program and all that, and they offer you $4 million.
Yeah, this is where I have to keep it real myself, because part of me wants to go play for North Carolina and and have a chance to compete with. Man, that's $4 million. I'm there 6 months. Give me my $4 million. You're right. I'm out of here. Let me go holler at some Mormons. Go hang out with them. See what the Mormon life is like. But look at this. He's talking about basketball program. Look at these names. I was looking it up. You only know like two people of all their I looked up basketball greats. I'm going to leave the two out. Tell me you know Devin Durant. Not Kevin Durant. Devin Durant. Do you know him?
No, I don't know him.
Eric Mika, Fred Roberts, TJ Hawes, Charles Abu.
Eric Mika.
Yeah. And
isn't she on Morning Joe? Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. Now, Tyler Hawes, Kyle Collinsworth. I don't know any of these people. Here's the three you know. Sean Bradley, Danny Ainge,
Yep.
and Jimmer Fredette, who did not live up to what we thought he was, just how good he was in college. That's the three right there. And none of them were Hall of Famers. Danny Ainge had a heck of a career and heck of a even career as a GM.
Well, he also played Major League Baseball.
He did.
He played third base for the Toronto Blue Jays. Can you believe that?
I did. I read a good book about Danny. What's my man Shaughnessy?
Dan Shaughnessy in Boston.
Yeah, he had a great book about that '80s Celtics team, and he talked about how good of an athlete Danny Ainge was.
Yeah.
So my point is, let's not act like this is some powerhouse and why I'm going there to become a pro and get better at basketball. And they clearly don't put out top pros up in Utah. However, I don't know if they got some great endowment. They got $7 million laying around for them. I'm shocked. How did Michigan State? How did North Carolina? How did Kansas? How did they let this happen?
They don't want to pay. It's just that simple. All right.